Hello, welcome to the Antisocial Club. I'm Diamondalexis. Today I am going to be showing y'all how to make this cute granny square top slash vest. I have it on as a vest, but originally I made it for a top, which will technically go into my DIY my Pinterest series because I actually saw this top on Pinterest and I've been meaning to make it for a while, but I just got around to it. I'm gonna insert a clip of me wearing it as a top, but today I have it styled as a vest. So I'm gonna be showing you how to make this. Super easy, super simple. Yeah, hopefully the tutorial is really easy to understand. Hopefully y'all like it. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I just want to point out and remind y'all that I do have a tutorial for how I do my scrap yarn. So if y'all like to see that, I'm going to link that down below as well. And yeah, let's get started. Hello, so for this tutorial, you are going to need a size 6mm hook or whatever size you prefer. I'm going to be using a 6mm. You're going to need some stitch markers. These are stitch markers I'm using. And I am using size 4 acrylic yarn. I'm using my waist yarn. If you want a tutorial for how I put my yarns together, that way I'm not weaving in like 80,000 ends, I will link that down below, and I'll also put it in the corner right here. So yeah, let's get started. So to do our magic circle, we're gonna take our yarn, put the end piece on top of the working yarn, pull up a loop. This is where our hook is going to go in, and it's going to be just like that. And we're going to work into this big circle right here. So I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to do a double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then do a double crochet, do another double crochet, and then do another double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2 again, and then do a double crochet, another double crochet, and then another double crochet. We're going to chain 2, and then double crochet. We're going to do another double crochet, loop, one more double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2, so 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet. This is our last double crochet for this row. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that we did at the very beginning. So you're gonna slip stitch into the very top, and then you're gonna slip stitch until you get to this middle part, which is just one slip stitch. So you're gonna just slip stitch again to get into the middle, which is right there, and then you're gonna chain 3 just like that. And so you have 4 just like that, and that's the start of our granny square. So when you do your chain 3, remember you're just going to do 1 double crochet. Your chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so you'll just have 2, and then you'll chain 2, or you'll chain 1, sorry. You chain 1, you're gonna go back in to that same middle part and do another cluster. I'm just gonna call these like clusters. And a cluster just consists of 3 double crochets. So you see we did 1 cluster, and that's just 3 double crochets. After that, we're going to chain 2, double crochet into this middle piece, and you're just crocheting in between the clusters. So you see this is a cluster, that's a cluster, you're gonna double crochet into that middle part, and we're gonna do 2 clusters, because you always want to put a cluster, you always want to put 2 clusters in the corners. So we just made a square, and you see there's, you know, obviously 4 corners to a square. So you want to put 2 clusters in each corner. And again, a cluster is just 3 double crochets. So we did 1 cluster. Remember, we want 2, so you're going to chain 1, do another cluster, which is 3 double crochets. That's 2. This is 3. And then I'm going to chain 2. Again, going into this corner, double crochet, 3, 2, 3, chain 1, go in there again, because remember you want 2 clusters. It's 1, 2, 3, chain 2. What I like to do is when I do 2 clusters in the corner piece, I only chain 1 in between here. But when I'm going from a cluster to another cluster, I chain 2. So this is a chain 2, but this one is a chain 1. So like right now, I just chained 2 because I'm going into a different section. So I'm going to do my cluster. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet. Remember, we want 2 because this is a corner, so you're going to chain 1, double crochet into that same hole to do another cluster. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and then 3 double crochet. So that's our second cluster. So we're going to chain 2 because now we're moving on to this next section. And right here, remember at the beginning we only did 2, so you're going to do, you want your third one, so you're just going to go into there, do 1 double crochet. So that'll give you now 3, and then you'll just slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that we did at the very beginning. You'll just slip stitch into that, and then you'll slip stitch again until you get to this middle part, and then you'll just start it over. So you chain 3, you do 1 double crochet, just 1, then you chain 1, and then you do another cluster. So that's 1, 2, 3, again, we're moving from this section to this section, so you chain 2, you do 1 cluster. If it's not a corner piece, you only do 1 cluster. So I'm gonna do 1 cluster, which again is 3 double crochets. So that was 2, this is 3, that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, this is a corner piece. You'll know it's a corner piece because this is where we did our 2 clusters. So right when you're in between here, that's how you know you need to put 2 in here. Because what the 2 does is increases it. That way it keeps the shape of a square. So we're doing a cluster, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 2. Moving on, remember this is not a corner piece. See, there's not 2 right underneath here. It's just an open space. So we're just going to do 1 cluster, which is 3 double crochets. Some people call them a cluster, some people call them a shell. I'm calling them a cluster. Again, you see there's 2, so we're in the corner. So you want to do 2 clusters, 2, 3, chain 1, go back into that same hole, 2, 3, chain 2. Again, there's not 2 here, so you know there's just going to be 1 there, and it's not in the corner. So you just do 1 cluster, 2, 3, chain 2. We're in the corner again. There's 2 clusters here. So you're gonna do that same thing. You're gonna put 2 clusters. So 2, 3, chain 1. Go back into that same hole. Do another cluster. 2, 3 double crochets. Chain 2. We're gonna put 1 there, 1 cluster. So 1, 2, 3. And again, remember at the beginning, we started off with 2 instead of 3. And we do that because we wanna be able to come back to this beginning part to make it look seamless, basically. So we're gonna chain 2. And then we're going to double crochet into that very beginning where we have the chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. So this is the chain 3. You see it has that little notch right here that's connected to the double crochet. You're just going to put your hook in and slip stitch, and then you want to slip stitch into the very opening right here in the corner, because you want to make sure that you're starting in this very corner. You don't want to start here because it's going to make your square look wonky. And you just do the same thing. So you just chain 3, do your double crochet, just 1, chain 1, do your cluster, that's 2, 3, chain 2, move on to the next. You see there's not 2 here, so you're just going to put 1 cluster, 3, chain 2, again just 1 cluster there, 1, 2, 3, chain 2. This is what it looks like so far. We're back at the corner. So So again, 2 clusters. That's 1 cluster. That's 3. Chain 1. Go back into that middle. Do another cluster. 3. Chain 2. And then you move on, and then there'll just be 1 there. And you're basically going to keep doing that for each row until you get it to the size that you want. So this is my last cluster for this row. Again, I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to put a double crochet to have it as a full cluster at the beginning that we did. And remember, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that we did at the very beginning, and then slip stitch again to make sure that we're in the middle. And this is what you'll get. And basically you just want to do this until you get it to your desired length. So you want to like put it over you to see if it goes from your shoulder to your shoulder. And what you're going to do is you're going to make 2 of these. So I'm going to keep doing mine, and then I'll be back when I have enough rows for myself. So I finished my square. This is what it looks like. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows for myself, and I did 2 of them. So this is 1 and this is 2. So you want to make sure you do 2 because you want to have 1 for the back, 1 for the front, of course. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put it together. Luckily, this should be pretty easy because it's just a square and it's even. So I'm gonna make sure I have the part that I want up, up, and the part I want down, down. So I want this like where my neck is, and I want this one like by my neck. So I want to make sure I have them both up. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our stitch markers and pin. Just going to pin it here in this corner. I'm going to pin it in this other corner as well. We're going to do all the corners. So we're going to pin it in every corner. Pin it in this corner. And then pin it in this other corner. So you want to pin all 4 corners. Again, this is where I want my neck to be, and this will be the bottom. So what we want to do is put stitch markers along until we get to our like armhole length that we need. For my armhole, I'm going to need about 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to start putting them, I'm going to stop putting them around right here. So let's come from the bottom. You want to make sure that you're doing it even. So you don't want to, you know, have it uneven. So I'm going to put a stitch marker there. Put a stitch marker here. Put one there. Put one here. And then we have this one. We're going to put it in here. Just like that. And you're just going to do the same thing on this other side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about that, this is where our neck is going to be. So you want to do it for your neck hole as well. For my neck hole, I'm going to do about 3 for now. I'm going to do it on the other side. So 2, 3. And when you do this, you want to try it on. So after you do this part, try it on. Make sure that it is actually like fits and it looks the way you want it to. If you need to take out rows, add more rows to the square, do that. but you want to make sure it fits. Also, you know, make sure you put your arms in, make sure your arms can go through, make sure your head, oop, that was my dog that hit the table. You want to make sure your head can go through the head hole. So just try it on, make sure that it fits the way you want it to. Like I said, if you need to do another row for the square, you would just start over, do another row. If you need to take a row out, you would just undo. Yeah, so I'm gonna try mine on, and then if this works, and see if this works, hopefully so, and then we'll get to actually sewing it together. Okay, so I tried mine on. Mine was perfect. Only thing I did was I took one of the stitch markers out from the side because it was too tight and I couldn't put my arms through. So I just took one of the stitch markers out, and now it's where I need it to be. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows that aren't going to be sewn together. Again, my granny square is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows. So I did 11 rows total for my granny square. But yeah, again, I have 3 at the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the sides. So I'm gonna sew these together. What we're going to do is I'm just gonna use this pink yarn because it's already on my top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to turn this inside out. So we're just gonna turn it inside out, just like this. So I'm actually gonna use this yarn. So what I'm gonna do, in case you have a corner piece like mine, if you're using a different yarn, you would just do a slip knot and then do it like that. But because I have this here, I'm just gonna use this yarn. I'm going to take it through. So I don't know if I showed that good. I just put my hook through the corner, take it through, do like a chain basically. And what we're gonna do is we're just going to do single crochets. We're just gonna do single crochets. Along the side here. And I'm just lining up the stitches. Ooh. Maybe. I'm trying not to do it tight either, but I don't want it really loose. Here, again, just single crochet. You can do slip knots if you want, but I usually just do single crochets. It's whatever your preference is. So I'm just lining it up like so. Remember, we chained 2 here, so I'm putting 2 single crochets in this big space right here. My yarn's run out, so just gonna attach these. Whoa. Like so. Start this again. Put this in here. One more. Do two. Move the stitch markers out the way. Two. Two. And then another two. I'm just gonna put one single crochet in this very last one. Then I'm gonna chain and I'm gonna cut it off right there. So it'll be like this, and this is what it'll look like on the other side. Okay, so now you can leave the top like this if you want to. You don't have to do anything else. You can literally just leave it like this. But I'm going to add a border at the bottom. So I'm just gonna turn it this way. And again, I'm trying to have as little things to weave in as possible, because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the strings or not, because you can see they're coming through the front of the top, and I just feel like it would look cleaner if I cut the strings off. So I think I'm gonna cut the strings off. Anywho, so yeah, I'm gonna start from this corner, do a chain 3, gonna do a, let me see if you can see, I'm gonna do a double crochet in this one, double crochet that one, double crochet that one, actually I'm gonna do a half double crochet. So chain 2 and then do a half double crochet. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So just do half double, just like so. And I'm basically just gonna do that all the way around, and I'm just gonna do that for, I'm gonna do that for 2 rows. So again, you don't have to do this step, you can skip it, but I just wanted to look a little more put together at the bottom. So I'm just gonna do a quick little short trim. I'm not sure yet about the sleeves, but we'll see. So yeah, just gonna do that all the way around. So this is what the bottom looks like with the hem, and that's it. That is the tutorial. So this is the finished product, my granny square top. Again, I have it worn as a vest, but you can literally wear it by itself. You don't have to have anything underneath. You just wear it as a top. It's a crop top. I styled mine as a vest. I have it with this long sleeve button down, and then I have on this skirt, and then I just have on some Mary Jane sandals, and that's how it looks. That is how it looks. Again, you can wear this as a top by itself, or like me, you can wear it like a vest. Just depends on how your style is, your preference, doesn't matter. You can wear it with a short sleeve top as well. I just have mine on with a long sleeve because I really wanted the collar. But yeah, hopefully y'all like this video. Hopefully it was easy to follow. And make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.